Trump says U.S. global tariff rate will rise from 10% to 15%. Ukrainian ambassador urges Japan to boost air defense support, intensify pressure on Russia. Trump says hospital ship to be sent to Greenland. Sudan's RSF says it took town on Chad border. President Donald Trump says he will raise a temporary global tariff from 10% to 15%, the maximum allowed under the law, after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down most of his earlier tariff program. The move comes just one day after Trump introduced a 10% across-the-board tariff following the court's ruling. In a 6-3 decision, the justices found that Trump had exceeded his authority under the law he used to impose sweeping import duties. The new 15% tariff is based on a different law known as Section 122. It allows the president to impose tariffs of up to 15% for 150 days. However, Congress must approve any extension beyond that period. No president has previously used Section 122, and legal experts say the move could face new court challenges. In a social media post, Trump said the higher tariff would take effect immediately. He added that during the 150-day window, his administration will work on other legally permissible tariff measures. The White House says certain goods, including critical minerals, metals, and energy products, will be exempt. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court ruled that the earlier tariffs imposed under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act were not authorized by Congress. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote that the law did not grant the president the sweeping tariff powers he claimed. Trump reacted angrily to the decision, calling the majority justices fools and vowing to continue his trade strategy. Some foreign leaders welcomed the ruling. French President Emmanuel Macron said it showed the importance of checks and balances. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said tariffs ultimately harm everyone. Despite the legal setback, the administration says trade deals negotiated under the threat of higher tariffs will remain in place. The decision adds fresh uncertainty to U.S. trade policy as markets, businesses, and foreign governments assess what comes next, just months before midterm elections, where economic concerns remain a top issue for voters. This Tuesday marks 4 years since Russia's invasion of Ukraine began. Yet, despite the passage of time, peace remains out of reach. As Russian forces intensify strikes on Ukrainian cities, particularly targeting energy infrastructure, Ukraine is calling for stronger international support. In an interview in Tokyo, Ukrainian ambassador to Japan, Yuri Lutovinyov, urged Japan to increase assistance and pressure on Moscow. Lutovinyov said recent attacks on power and heating facilities are aimed at breaking civilian morale during the winter, but he stressed that Ukraine remains united. "Such attacks will not break our spirit," he said. The ambassador emphasized the urgent need for air defense systems and missiles to protect civilians and critical infrastructure. He called air defense a key pillar of Ukraine's strategy. He also noted Japan's participation in the NATO-led Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List, or PURL, which coordinates military support. While acknowledging Japan's legal limitations, Lutovinyov said even non-lethal assistance is highly valuable. Beyond military aid, he called for continued sanctions and international isolation of Russia, saying Moscow must be deprived of the resources to continue the war. Lutovinyov, who studied in Japan and is familiar with the country, described Japan as one of Ukraine's most important partners. He concluded by expressing deep appreciation from the Ukrainian people for Japan's continued support. U.S. President Donald Trump says he is working with Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry to send a hospital ship to Greenland. Trump made the announcement on social media, stating that the vessel would help care for people in Greenland who are, quote, sick and not being taken care of. However, neither the White House nor Governor Landry's office has provided details. It remains unclear whether Denmark or Greenland requested the ship, who specifically needs assistance, or when the vessel would arrive. The U.S. Defense Department has not commented. Greenland is a self-governing territory of Denmark. Trump has previously expressed interest in acquiring the island, a move that sparked diplomatic tensions. In recent months, Danish and Greenlandic leaders have worked to reinforce unity following those earlier remarks. Officials from Greenland, Denmark, and the United States also recently held talks aimed at easing tensions within NATO. Trump's statement came shortly after Denmark's Arctic Command confirmed that a crew member from a U.S. submarine near Greenland's capital, Nuuk, was evacuated for urgent medical treatment. It is not clear whether that incident is related to the proposed hospital ship. The U.S. Navy operates 2 hospital ships, USNS Mercy and USNS Comfort, though neither is based in Louisiana. Sudan's paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, known as the RSF, say they have seized the border town of Altina near Chad. The town was previously believed to be under the control of joint forces aligned with Sudan's regular army. The army and the RSF have been fighting since April 2023. In a statement posted on social media, the RSF released video footage showing fighters celebrating beneath a banner reading, "District of Altina." The Sudanese army has not issued an official response. However, Darfur's pro-army governor, Mini Minawi, condemned what he described as repeated criminal actions targeting innocent civilians. Sudan's civil war has killed tens of thousands and forced around 11 million people from their homes. The United Nations has described the conflict as one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Earlier this week, a UN fact-finding mission said the RSF's assault on the Darfur city of El Fasher last October showed what it called the hallmarks of genocide. Since taking control of El Fasher, the RSF has expanded operations near the Chad border. Last year, 2 Chadian soldiers were killed amid rising cross-border tensions.